runner stretch. I'm going to start with my left foot forward, my hands right inside the heel, so they're not, a lot of people will be in front of the heel and that will overbend. You can't see that. That will overbend my left knee. So I keep my hands inside the heel to keep that 90 degree in the left knee, 90-degree bend. So I'm going to scoop my right knee back and just flop my right foot. If this is tough on your wrists, you go onto the knuckles. If you're extremely flexible, you can go down to your elbows, or you can have a prop here of some sort, like a Pilates box or some type of box or stool to rest your arms on to be more comfortable. So this is the runner stretch. I'm feeling a stretch in the front of my right hip and probably the back of the left leg as well, then through here. To enhance it, I'm going to engage the right glute, so squeezing and tightening that buttock muscle on the right really enhances the stretch. You can feel then how a tightened glute stretches the hip flexor, and vice versa, a tightened hip flexor, which we tend to be really tight in the hip flexors, keeps the glute lengthened and weak. So now we are going to dig in, take it another step, dig in the right toes, and then securing the hands inside the heel, right next to your left heel, I'm going to squeeze my right leg straight. I'm taking it a little deeper. And from here, I'm going to do pumps. Push back and forward through the toes. So it's kind of like calf raises through that right foot. I'm not going up and down with my hips. I'm not dipping higher or lower. I'm really staying level to the ground. So it's stretching my arch. It's stretching really everything along the pathway of that right leg. And ideally, you're just kind of melting towards the ground a little bit through that hip as you loosen up things more actively. Okay, then I'm going to rest here. I'm going to solidify my right arm under my right shoulder and then open up to the left. Now notice my shoulder wanted to round, so I'm going to hug that down my back and then rotate through the trunk. A couple deep breaths here. You can always take left elbow to left heel and open up to make it more active. Left elbow to left heel. You'll feel that left inner thigh. Open up. Let's do 3 more. Elbow to heel, fingertips to ceiling. Left elbow, left heel, fingertips to ceiling. Last one. Okay. Now from here, drop the knee, shift the weight back, and we can get into a hamstring stretch. So I'm just going to straighten things out so I have alignment with my legs and my hips as if I'm on skis. Big deep breath. You're going to flex the toes back and reach the tailbone back. So from here, we're stretching the back of the left leg. What I like to do is then drag that left heel back, dragging that left hip back. And wow, it gets it much deeper. You can flex the toes toward your nose. And I'm going to give you another option. We can do pump backs, pumping the toes back towards you. Ooh, that's going to more active stretching is good before exercise, when we're trying to prime muscles, getting them ready for movement. And then keeping the toes to the ceiling, we're going to pump side to side with the heel. Now you're going to feel outer shin, inner shin. That feels good. And then drag that hip back again and just stretch with a flat back. So notice I'm really trying to reach the hip back, keep my back flat versus rounding over it. It's a different stretch. And then we'll switch legs. I'm going to bring the right leg forward, my right hands and left hand in line with my right heel, and then just shimmy that left knee back to where I get a nice stretch through the front of the left hip flexor. Oh, a couple deep breaths here, and start to engage that left glute. And feel, I love to feel a connection of the body and feel which side is tighter, which can I engage my left glute. I've had clients where they just don't have activation of the glute, so we have to build that up over time by loosening up the hips. Big deep breaths, squeezing that glute, and then we dig the left toes in, squeeze that left leg straight, and start to pump forward and back and forward and back. Again, I'm trying to stay stealth, just hover the ground, not lift up and down, so that it is more actively opening up the whole chain of my left leg. My toes are slipping there. Just a couple more. And then I'm going to secure my left hand under my left shoulder and then rotate up towards the ceiling, dropping my shoulders down my back, really always trying to keep that good posture in every exercise we do. Couple breaths here, and then you can option to take right elbow to right heel, right fingertips to ceiling, right elbow to right heel, right fingertips to ceiling, right elbow to right heel, right fingertips ceiling, 2 more. Stretching out inner thigh, rotators. And down back to center. Drop the knee, shift your weight back. And again, I'm checking that everything's in alignment. My legs in line with my hips versus off to the sides. My toes are to the ceiling, and I'm just going to drag my heel and hip back. Woo! Does that take it a whole other level? The posterior chain of my right leg. To make it active, I could stay here if I want, or I could work to pump the toes back. Little purple socks here, purple-toed socks. Pumping back, keeping everything else steady, but you feel more actively lengthening the back of the leg and also working a little exercise on the shins. Keeping the toes to the ceiling, now we're going to pump side to side. It's always important to work these little ankle muscles. They are neglected muscles that need strengthening, not with heavy weights, but with light movements, as they are stabilizers. Okay, rest here. And then just a little drag back, flat back, and rest. And you got a good amount of your lower body